Good morning, good afternoon. In this mini training session, we're going to cover how to make your Workbooks CRM setup even more secure with MFA or Multi Factor Authentication. So, hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and I'm joined by my colleague Stuart Lawrence and Hind, our company Wizard Systems. We are a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks. We help organizations use simple, affordable solutions to improve their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. So thanks for joining us live. Those of you on here live, our regular series of short little training sessions focusing on different topics around Workbooks. And in this session, we're going to cover this MFA thing. So this will be a very short presentation. There's not a lot really to it. It is quite an important part of any CRM system, the login process and keeping your data secure. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions around this, please pop those into the question box or comments, and we'll try and answer those as best we can. Also, the call is being recorded. You will get a link to the recording after we've finished, and you can play that back and share it with your colleagues if you want to as well. Quick mention about Wizard Systems. We're long-standing, as I say, independent provider of different CRM solutions, including Workbooks. We provide any kind of service around Workbooks, the implementation, setup, training, customization, and the ongoing technical support as well. Okay, so MFA. And in this short session, we're going to cover how to really understand the importance of multi-factor authentication in Workbooks, explore the different authentication factors and their effectiveness, learn how to implement this into your CRM work for your CRM system there, and discover how it really can reduce the risk of any data breaches or cyber attacks. So let me now transfer over to my colleague Stuart, and he will take us through MFA. Over to you, Stuart.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon. Right, hopefully everybody can see my screen. I'm currently logged in to Workbooks desktop, and I'm currently logged in as an administrator. So the easiest thing to do would be to show you the options that are available. So by clicking on Start and Configuration, if I go up to my account settings, the authentication control is held here. Now, by default, you have two enabled straight away. That's the password policy, things like the complexity and how long a password would last. And a nice option, things like if should a user forget a password, do they get sent an email to help them reset their password? And the second option is the additional sign-in security. Now this is linked to the IP address that the user has been logging in from. Should the user log in from somewhere else, log in from a different device, Workbooks will send them an email to the account that is linked to their Workbooks account, asking them to confirm that they are the right person, and from there they can log into that new device. So those two are included straight away. So what can we add to those to give us this multi-factor layer of security? And Workbooks have three for us. We have Google Authentication, Microsoft Authentication, and Apple Authentication. So let's take Microsoft as an option here. Now, the user in Workbooks, or the administrator in Workbooks, would just come into this system and activate it. In the Workbooks system, that's all that's controlled because it's linked to the person's email address. What would happen now is the Windows administrator would configure their Active Directory, and they would then control who has access to the Workbooks login. If they're not a member of a particular Active Directory group, they won't be able to log into Workbooks. So straight away, Workbooks is locked down. On top of that, because this is Active Directory and 365 these days, you can further enhance that by forcing a user to make use of an authenticator app. So when they go to log in, not only will they click the prompt to log in, their mobile phone will then prompt them to say, are you this person, or confirm this number that's on screen, just to give you this second factor of authentication. And what's interesting is that the Google one works in a very, very similar way. Your Google for Business, your Gmail account, you can configure it to prompt to say that when I use my Google login, please prompt me for this second, just so it's not a case of someone happens to be sat where I sit, but I have also got my mobile phone with me and I can further authenticate myself. And all of these mean that when a user goes to log in, I sign out to get myself back to the login screen so you can see them. Instead of just having these things down the side, you have access to these options. And the idea being that when a user clicks them, and I'll click the Google one just so you can see it in action. Obviously, this is not a business account, but that would take you through to a second screen saying, who are you? What is your Google password or Google for Business password? And once I confirm those, it will then tell me, please accept the prompt on the Authenticator app if that's been authenticated, and would allow me to log in. And as I mentioned, the Microsoft one works in a very, very similar way. If I was to try this at the moment, it would fail because it's not been authenticated for that screen. And I hope that helps, but really that, in a nutshell, is how to configure and enable multi-factor authentication in Workbooks.
Yes, quite a short topic there. Not a lot to it, yet a very important aspect of the implementation of your CRM system there, if you're a Workbooks user. Now, if you've got any questions around this security feature, or indeed any other related Workbooks questions, pop those into the question box or comments. We'll try and answer them for you. So Stefan is asking, can you use Workbook Security and MFA together, or does using MFA disable the standard Workbooks login?
Oh, good question. I probably should have mentioned that one. Yes, you can use both. And then with logon protection on, it would ask you to prove who you are with the normal email confirmation, and then further prove who you are using the Google apps, which is normally the Authenticator app. Sorry, yes, I could have mentioned that one.
Okay, and a question from Carolyn, I think it's right. As well as MFA, is there a way to make Workbooks passwords more secure?
Right. Okay, that one's interesting. Normally, when you have MFA enabled, you take away the need for a Workbooks password. But just out of the box, the Workbooks password complexity has various options that the administrator can use. They can set the minimum length of a password, the complexity, so things like, is it just alphabet or is it alphanumerical, or do you want to include punctuation marks? They can also set how long a password can be enabled for, its expiry date. They can also decide whether or not you can reuse an old password. A new feature is things like Workbooks will check to see if a password has ever been compromised, and so we'll stop you from using that one. And I think I mentioned right at the start, it is also possible to have on screen a forgot password option that will send the registered user a prompt to set a new password, and an administrator can control that as well. I hope that helps.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I don't think there's actually any more questions there. So, well, thanks those of you on here live, or if you're watching a recording of this. Thanks very much for watching this call. If you've got any questions about this, please contact us, myself, Tim at wizard-systems.com, or Stuart at wizard-systems.com. If you've got any suggestions for future Workbooks CRM topics that you think would be of interest to other Workbooks users, again, please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. So that's it, us done on MFA and workbooks. We'll catch up with you on the next event. Bye-bye.